Do you know what I think? If a toddler's tired, let them sleep.
Oh, okay. Well, we have people
Never
to
wake
talk to
a
about
sleeping
this.
child.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll bear that advice in mind.
Yes, sleep has long been thought to be crucial for the development of young children. Now, an Australian study says toddlers over the age of 2 who nap during the day could be damaging their mental health, reducing the quality of sleep they get during the night.
Okay, so we're going to discuss how much sleep young children should be getting, when they should get it, with Dr. Jane Herbert, a child psychologist, and Tina Bailey, who's a mum of 2 young children. Good morning.
Good morning.
Tina, how old are your children?
They're 2 and 3 now.
Okay, so Sally's advice, tired toddler should sleep. She's not here, so you can tell us what you really think.
If mine are tired, I let them sleep. Honestly, they've both dropped the naps now, so napping isn't something that happens anymore. But one of my children used to nap religiously and sleep really well overnight. The other one was the complete opposite. She would never nap for longer than 20 minutes tops during the day, and she would be awake all night long. Literally every half hour she would be awake. Sometimes just for a cuddle, sometimes she wanted feeding. Generally, she was just really unsettled. So, honestly, I'm of the opinion that if your child is tired, you should let them sleep. And when they're ready to drop that nap, then there's nothing you can do to make them go to sleep during the day anymore.
So, Dr. Herbert, your colleagues in Australia have been doing some research into this. What do you make of their findings?
Well, I haven't had the opportunity to read the entire paper, so I don't know really how they conducted their study, but what they're suggesting is that as children get a bit older, they're sleeping less during the day and they should be sleeping more at night, and that generally fits with what children do. But as Tina says, there's huge individual differences between children, so some don't sleep that well, and then also there's day-to-day differences as well. So sometimes they have a really busy day and they need to sleep a little bit more, sometimes they don't need to sleep.
That sounds like common sense.
It is.
What does science tell us about how sleep patterns and how early they kick in? Because the implication here is that something you do very early on will have a bearing on their child's sleep patterns further ahead.
Well, by the time they get to 4, they've started to drop that morning, sort of afternoon nap. They tend to do all their sleeping at night. So research does show there's changes in sleep patterns. But very early on, those naps are really beneficial for their learning. So in research that we conducted recently with 6 and 12-month-olds, we found that children learn things better, remember them better, if they're experiencing those things just before they go to sleep. So sleep is really important for helping us consolidate our memories. So we learn lots during the day, and sleep helps us sort of parcel out what's important and store things into memory.
It's all very well, isn't it, having theories and research about when children learn well and when they absorb information well, but in practical terms, I mean, I can see you shaking your head, Tina, and most parents, mums and dads will be thinking the same. It doesn't matter, does it? It's up to the child eventually.
Exactly. My daughter's 2.5 now. She never really napped. She was an awful sleeper until literally a couple of months ago, and she's ahead of where she should be on every chart, every check. She goes to nursery and they're kind of saying that already she's where a preschool child would be. She's doing what children 12 months older than her are doing, and that may well be because she's got an older brother, but I don't think sleep's had anything to do with that.
Still, guidelines help, don't they? I mean, you probably feel like a dab hand at it now with a 2 and a 3-year-old, but when you started, before your first was born, you would be reading books and trying to get as much advice as you could to kind of bring them up as healthily as possible. So does research like this help?
Honestly, every book I bought, I got a couple of chapters in and thought, this is nonsense. With having 2 children so close together, I realised very, very quickly that every single child is different. My son, as I said earlier, he was an amazing napper, an amazing sleeper, so when I got pregnant again so quickly, we were like, oh, it'll be easy, they'll both sleep, they'll both nap, I'll be able to get all my jobs done during the 3 hours when they're both asleep, but that just did not happen. I think in the 2.5 years I've had 2 children, they've probably had simultaneous naps 3 times tops. It just doesn't always work like that.
There were some tired parents this morning watching this, thinking, yes, we've all been there. Thank you very much for your time both this morning.
Thank you. 7:45, you're watching Breakfast with BBC News.